So I had this friend growing up. We played Legos on the porch outside his house. It was a side porch, and we built all these custom contraptions. We were always messing around with something, and then as we got a little bit older, he bought this Rabbit and Volkswagen Rabbit, and it was, I think, if I remember right, it had fire damage, but he stripped it down completely, and he did it up as a Volkswagen Rabbit GTI. It was a cool car, and we cruised the avenue, and one day we got this idea to stick my Bose 501 box speakers in there. And they were powerful speakers, and this is the 80s. So Rockford Fosgate was an amplifier. They were one of the first pioneer car stereo brands, and he had gotten this Rockford Fosgate amp and a Sony car stereo deck, and we're talking cassettes still at this point. This is mid 80s, and we put my speakers underneath the rear deck of the hatch, and it's got filth on the back, and there's Pioneer TSX8s box speakers, three-way box speakers sitting on top of them, and he wired them down. And we went and we cruised the avenue, and we cranked that thing up so loud, and the car rattled. And I realized to younger people, that's not a big deal because you're used to that in the subwoofers. But this was pre-subwoofer. This was pre anybody having a car stereo like this. So this stereo was just as loud as any car you see now, with the big thuds going by and the vibration on it. And everybody wanted to run out and buy Pioneer TSX8 speakers because that's what they thought was working. And we laughed about it. We had a good time. And, Dave was my best friend in high school and junior high growing up. I mean, he always stayed by me. We always stayed close. And then one day, life happens. Dave went to college. He ended up moving on. He moved down to Georgia, ended up getting married, and so goes the story. That was my best friend, and I don't remember the last time I saw him. It could be 30 years plus since I've seen him. And that would seem like the end of it. But there was no falling out, no fight. Nobody decided anything. It's just your early 20s. He moved. That's it. Now, the thing is, I've told you what I did with money, how I waited until I made more than I spent. And it's the same bet here, different window. We call every few years, near misses, and Dave usually is the one calling, and it's always nice to hear from him. I love to hear from Dave, and I'd love to connect up with him. But he's down in Georgia, and I'm in the Midwest, and our paths just didn't cross. Things just didn't work out, and he's got a family, and he's busy. But he always makes time for me, and he's always paid attention. And, that's how, money sends a statement every month. Marriage has a date on paper, and this had nothing attached to it. So nothing ever went off base. That's just how the friendships move. But what's interesting about this is a notification did. And I didn't lose a friend. I lost 30 years of it, being friends with him. And how many men did you have like that at 25? How many are still findable? That's the number to write down. And that's the number nobody ever made you write down. I'm not going to tell you that you're my old best friend. Looking at 30 years, I'm not qualified. But what I found is a friendship survived on almost nothing. A call every few years, was kept alive for decades, and there was never any big step, but that's what makes it takeable today. I would love to get together with Dave. because Dave's with me every day. Dave's watching this video right now. He watches all my videos. He comments on all my videos. And he's never let me down on that. And he encourages me. He encourages me to keep going. And that's huge. We've had so many experiences together, and I miss him, and that doesn't discount any other friendships I have. I have a lot of lifelong friendships that have kept up, solid friendships, and I have a lot of friendships that end up like what Dave and I ended up like, and I think that has more to do with me than it does to do with Dave, because I've been one to be there for a season and move on, and then I can go right back to that friendship, that relationship that was there in the first place, that I thought was gone, and I see somebody and we can just click and go right back to where we were. But I'd say this video is more about Dave, because everybody needs Dave in their life. He's been so good to me. He's been a great friend. He's been an encouragement. And he's been somebody I haven't seen for 30 years. And Dave, I think we ought to get together soon, because I appreciate you so much. And I think that everybody watching this needs a friendship like yours. So y'all have a blessed day and do it one day better.